Hi, Joseph. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm fine, Genevieve. How are you doing?
Very fine. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Genevieve. Joseph, how are you doing?
Joseph, we can't catch you. Can you check your audio?
I think you're on mute. Can you unmute your audio?
Joseph, there's the mute button down at the bottom left. There we go. Hey. Can you hear us?
Joseph, can you hear us?
Okay. Yes, I'm getting it clearly. Are you getting me too?
Yeah, but it's not too clear.
Yeah, I think we've got a problem with sound. Maybe, is there a way you can hold the mic right up to your mouth? Because the audio is 1 on 5.
All right, are you getting me now clearly? Can you get me now? Can you get me?
Yes, but not too clear.
Barely. Is there a way that you can turn the sound up or maybe link to a better mic by any chance?
I told them.
Oh, long time no see, Miss Viola. How are you?
Hi, Viola.
I think you're on mute.
I said it's been like forever. How have you been? I've been seeing you around. What's happening with you?
Good to
I guess
see
you're
you.
so busy, right? We've been giving you so much work to do, right? And you're looking really pretty.
Thank you. I put some makeup on to pretend like I'm not as tired as I feel, you know.
I totally get you. You look good. Nice to meet you guys. Like
likewise.
Nice meeting you, Viola. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're fine.
Can you get me now?
Joseph, are you okay now?
Yes, can you get me now clearly?
A little bit better.
Yeah, this is much better than the one before. So are you using a phone or a computer?
I'm using a tab.
Oh, okay, I see. That could be the reason.
Do you have another device that we could test maybe in the last few minutes before people start coming in?
Okay, hold on a bit, please. Let's 2 minutes. Hold on in the next 2 minutes. Let me check out, please.
Okay.
Okay. Joining in. We'll be kicking off in just a few minutes. Thanks to everybody that's rolling in. We're just doing a quick audio and video check, and we'll be kicking off in about 6 minutes. But warm welcome, settle in. We're so happy that you guys can join us. It's going to be a great talk later. But thanks for your patience as we just wrap up the last checks. Let's see. I am going to hop on mute for just a second.
You are not to get. Yes, I need to get you. I will get another one for you.
I don't know when. Why not playing that stuff?
I don't get laptop here.
Usman,
Don't call it things tonight.
Joseph, Usman.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I want to make you help him with? We dey get somebody, the sound not look okay. So help him forget if not a laptop where you go log in on. Sorry?
Yeah, Pastor will take one of on a laptop and do.
Yeah, you can do that for him. So just help him get a laptop. This session for starting for me. So if you can get just a laptop, make you log in quick, that not go bad. Because I don't know, maybe now the positioning of the tablet, how can I use them outside the mic of the tablet, they are not able to get them clearly.
If I try for stuff now, you get in Sakuka.
Sorry? Hello?
Sakuka.
Yeah?
Yes, if I try for stuff now, you get me.
Yes, I'll get you clear now. So is there a problem with the mic position?
So this F no okay?
This one okay. Hello?
This one okay?
This okay, yeah, this okay. This perfectly okay.
Yes, Mr. Lucas.
Much better, Joseph.
Yeah.
So learn about again, can we do it, all right?
No, this is okay, yeah.
So Mr. Cook, can learn about how it's done again, eh?
No, this one okay.
All right. So nothing coming.
All right, okay.
Sorry.
No worries. We're all good. That's what sound and audio checks are for. We'll be kicking off in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So if you wanted to grab a glass of water, stretch, we'll be getting ready to roll here quite shortly. Joseph, you're looking stressed or hot. It's all going to be fine.
I can see. No, you're not in an interview.
Okay now.
Okay.
Yes, you say no. Your phone I use.
Oh.
Thank you, man.
Joseph, Stephen, Viola, just in the last minute before we kick off, a few housekeeping points as we move through the panel discussion today. I would ask you to please keep your microphones on mute when you're not speaking, and when you're ready to talk, to unmute, and feel free to keep, once we start and kick off, feel free to keep your cameras on because it'll switch to the person who's speaking. And yeah, that's it. As the attendees join us here, everybody can hear what we're saying. So welcome to all of our participants. Thanks so much for coming to the webinar. And yeah, I'll give maybe 1 more minute. There we are. Olamide, hey, thank you for joining us. Can you hear us?
Hi.
There we go. Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
How
hi.
are you
How are you doing?
we're good.
All right. Well, the gang is all here, so I propose we kick this off. I'd like to first thank so much our amazing panelists for joining us today. I will get to introductions for each of you shortly. And a big thanks to our participants, everybody joining us from countries all over the world to join the chat today. Really excited to have you guys here. So the way that this session is going to work is we'll start off intro, some initial discussion questions, And to our participants, everyone joining us on the webinar, please, if you have any questions, they are warmly welcome. If you could just drop them in the chat, we'll be sure to circle up to them when we get to the Q&A period at the end of the discussion. So as we move along, if you guys are inspired, want to ask one of the panelists something, please, please, please feel free to jot it down on the chat and we will get to it. So on that note, let's go ahead and kick this off. Why the clean energy sector? I'm going to start there. I think we've all heard the often quoted statistic that by 2050, Africa's population will double, and with it, the opportunities for growth will continue to expand exponentially. Energy is and will continue to be at the heart of development, allowing for innovation in new industries that drive jobs and inclusive growth for entire economies. Given that around 600 million citizens across the continent lack power, the need for solutions is urgent. At present on the continent, we've got an amazing opportunity to shape the future of growth in a sustainable way. This is especially critical as studies have shown that energy is the main contributor to climate change, and it produces around 60% of greenhouse gases. If you've been keeping up with the news, I'm sure you've seen reports coming in of extreme weather events across the world, unusually low temperatures in traditionally warm areas, flooding, even the locust swarms Kenya and Tanzania have been contending with lately are all contributing results of climate change. This is where the clean energy sector comes in. Decentralized renewable energy, or DRE, as the industry acronym calls it, including the off-grid energy sector with subsets like solar, productive use, biogas, and clean cooking have all emerged as disruptive markets, gaining significant ground and rapidly expanding employment opportunities as governments, investors, and consumers look for sustainable and affordable alternatives for energy. Now, how does this translate for employers and job seekers? One series of stats we're especially fond of for how well it represents the sector comes from a report by Power for All, which I'll be happy to drop into the link of the chat if you'd like to read more about it. But if we consider just the off-grid solar market alone, global market projections suggest an overall growth of 25% per year between 2017 and 2022. How does this translate in job numbers? In East Africa, we're looking at an estimated rise from 75,000 jobs in 2018 to 350,000 jobs by 2022-2023. In West Africa, this is expected to grow from about 25,000 jobs in 2018 to 150,000 jobs in the next 3 years, and from 7,000 to 65,000 jobs in Central Africa. With this enormous growth potential in the formal job sector, customer service and sales is a core pipeline of talent needs. Why? If you look at East Africa, companies that are working in solar, mini-grid space are starting to mature. And as they do so, they're looking for new options and outreach. They need bigger customer service and sales teams to help drive a bigger customer base. And this is becoming a fast emerging trend in West Africa as well. So, clean energy sector, an incredibly booming, incredibly important emerging industry, huge job potential, and within that, customer service and sales, a uniquely exploding pipeline. As you can see, this is an excellent area to focus on if you're looking to build your career long-term in the energy sector. How would you go about this? This is where the fun part kicks in because we have got a panel of heavy hitters here today that are delighted to walk you through it. I'm going to take a moment to introduce everyone. So again, I am super pleased and excited to have on our panel today. Firstly, Olamide, would you like to say hello? Olamide is Human Resources Business Partner at one of our long-term clients, Greenlight Planet, based in Nigeria. Olamide brings a wealth of experience in human resources, not only from the clean energy sector, but the FMCG, telco, and banking industries as well. Olamide, welcome. We're really happy to have you.
Thanks, Genevieve. Hi, everyone. Hi, Viola. Hi, Steven.
I'd like to move to our next panelist, Miss Biola. Long time no see. We're so happy to have you here with us today. Biola is the People and Admin Manager at Haven Hill Synergy, also in Nigeria. Biola brings a unique perspective into human resources as a trained psychologist with a keen interest in working towards gender representation in the workplace. Biola, we're very, very happy to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Moving along to Stephen. Stephen, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Stephen is Customer Care Manager at Easy Solar in Sierra Leone. He's one of our employer partners directly responsible for hiring, training, and supervising customer service placements. We're excited to have his perspective on succeeding in this function. Stephen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Genevieve. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be part of it.
Thanks again. Last but certainly not least, we're very, very pleased to have on this call Joseph, one of our recent placements under the OGTI program. Joseph is a customer care representative at Easy Solar in Sierra Leone and will be providing valuable insights on how this program has been for him as a candidate. Joseph, are you there? Oh no, have we lost Joseph? Ah, you're on mute, Stephen.
Yeah, I think we lost him, but I'll try to connect with him. He will join us soon.
I hope he can join us back. Okay,
Yeah.
well, holding soon for Joseph. In the meantime, I propose we kick off with the first couple of questions. As you guys can see, we have got great representation from Nigeria and Sierra Leone. The OGTI program covers about 10 countries in total, including Rwanda, Senegal, Ghana, East Africa as well, Tanzania and Uganda. But the insights and advice that we'll be hearing here today is definitely applicable to the greater African region. So all of our attendees from across all the different countries that are joining us here tonight, or this afternoon, or this morning, depending on where you are, welcome, and everybody's got something to learn today. On that note, question number one. What are some trends you are seeing in hiring for sales and customer service in your companies that could be indicative of hiring for these roles in clean energy? What should employers or job seekers be paying attention to? I would like to throw that first question to Olamide to start, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Please can you confirm that you can hear me clearly? Okay, great. Okay, so let's just go straight into it. I think when I saw this question, the first thing that struck me, right, aside from educational experience, work experience, one thing that is different when it comes to, for me as an HR professional, when it comes to recruiting, I've worked in FMCG and banking, just like you said. But for in Green Light Planet, one thing that stands out, or one thing that I try to look out for, is the passion. Because of the industry that we are in, our mission is very strong, right? And we need everyone to, or anyone that is coming into the organization, to be able to key into that mission and find their own personal passion in that mission. So one thing that is very key when it comes to hiring for be it customer service and be it sales, because sales and customer service are like the frontline soldiers. They meet with the customers first before anyone else. So one thing that is very key is that you have to have passion for what that business is about. So for clean energy, basically, you're providing clean energy to off-grid families, right? When you see that it is not just you, when you can understand, not just as an employee, but as a prospective employee into any organization that is into clean energy, you can understand what they are about and you can explain it, you can express it. Even if you have 50% of what they need in terms of your experience or educational background, you're considered course, you have that passion, and that is what the drive is. So passion is very key. But how do you then generate that passion? Because you can say, to let me know when my time is up, I can be quite a talker. So you can say, for example, how do I generate passion for this company that I'm just applying to? Read about them, do a little bit of research, right? And then try to see how you can key into it. Try to understand what they're trying to do in that environment that they're playing in. So for me, one key thing is having passion for what the organization does. Okay. Viola, it's just the both of us left. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I think Genevieve dropped off. She should be joining back soon.
Okay. So should we wait for her?
I think we should.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think the internet has disconnected Jen. Let's see if we can get her back.
Hi guys, oh yeah, she's back. Awesome.
Olamide, I am so sorry. I need to get my Wi-Fi box connected to a solar power battery. Stat, good grief. Have I missed the end of the question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
she's
I went
answered.
but let me
Great.
just recap quickly. I think, so I said the main thing is having passion for what we do in clean energy. That's what basically drives sales. That's what drives the interaction with customers. And when you're trying to sell those products, that's what the customer sees. The customer sees the passion that you have for that product and how you're translating that passion to make life better for them, basically. So be it customer service, be it sales, you have to be able to key into that, into the passion to give clean energy.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to pass this same question along to Biola. Would you have any additional insights or a different take on the question that you could help us with?
Yeah, I have a number of things to share. So hello, everyone again. My name is Biola, and I'm from Haven Hill Energy Limited. Unarguably the best renewable energy company in Nigeria and Africa. Yes. Okay, so I think that one of the major trends that I have noticed while hiring for sales and customer service roles is that, like most other job roles, more guys apply for it than females. And it is really sad because I'm suspecting that it's because of the pressure that comes with meeting targets as a woman and the drama that also comes with being a female. So for instance, there's the veiled and obvious sexual harassment, that women have to face, amongst other things. I've also noticed the heartbreaking reality that most candidates lack some basic and much needed soft skills. So we're talking excellent communication skills, being able to think on one's feet, people skills and all. Now, one of the things that I think employers should actually be doing is to look beyond the CV and certificates presented by prospective employees when hiring for these roles. So in Haven Hill, one of the things that we do is that we have conversations during your interview, right, that helps us to see beyond the CV that you give to us. We want to create a hypothetical scenario during an interview that requires you to sell an idea or a product to, with the panelists. Then for job seekers, I'm thinking one of the, irrespective of the role you're applying for, right, one of the things that you should be paying attention to is what the organization is paying attention to. Like, you can't say you want to work with, okay, let me give an example. So we have somebody who sent in the person's CV, and everything was just out of order. I think it was when we're reading the notes that she, put in the body of her email that we realized that she actually thought we were an NGO, right? She didn't even know we were, I don't know what she was thinking about, but you have to pay attention to details as little as that. You need to know what are our needs, right? So then you now sell yourself as a solution to that need. So job seekers and employers should actually ensure that they pay attention to use of technology and digital collaboration tools. We're big on tech in my organization. So if you want to send me a document, don't be sending me Word document for me to download. Now, if you're going to come into my organization, I'm assuming you should know how to use your Google Drive, right? You should be able to use Teams, you should be able to use Zoom. It's not enough to just say I am digitally literate, right? You have to test it by making use of these tools. So if you're applying for a customer relations role, you should be paying attention to understanding of the business, acquiring excellent listening skills, communication and people relations skills. You can't say you're communicating with me when I don't even understand what you're saying, right? So you need to be able to speak my language. If I'm asking you to go and sell solar products to one of our customers, somebody that maybe has a small restaurant or has a barbecue salon, you will not be selling it to the person the way you would sell to a bank, right? You need to tone it down. You need to step down, the communication so that the person can understand very well, because you'll be dealing with different kinds of people. So you need to sharpen your listening skills and your tolerance skills. You need to understand their pain points, and then you now respond in a cautious manner. So you should also multitask as well. So for sales, you should be able to talk, write, and sell. Like if you can't do any of these three things, you shouldn't be in sales, right? And you're not coming to sales because you're just wanting to pass time. You're coming because you're coming to add value. You need to be excellent in providing customer-driven responses. Now, how does this work? You need to be a great listener. That's what it is. It's like, customer relations. Then you now take action based on what you hear from the customer. So somebody comes to tell you and say, guy, I can't afford this 1 million you guys are calling. Can we have a conversation about it? Then you listen, and then begin to think on your feet. How can I get this person to come into purchase our product? And then as you're thinking about that, you're also thinking about how you're going to present that person's case to the organization. So it doesn't look like, the person is just trying to look for a shortcut to having, our product. Now, so it's not just good enough for you to listen. You need to internalize it, internalize what the customer just said, and then do something about it. So on this point, I would just say again, finally, that you should be able to have the ability to initiate and manage relationships. You can't be in customer relations and sales and be a couch potato, right? You can't, or be antisocial, even if you were, because you're applying for these roles. Begin to practice, go out, volunteer, intern, and do stuff. I hope that helps. Thanks.
Uncut, unfiltered, super practical advice from our panelists. Brace yourself, audience. I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is golden HR information here. Thank you, ladies, very much. Let me move to the next question, because we definitely want to save some time for Q&A. Guys, please don't be shy. Drop those questions in the box. I see them coming in. We'll get to you. Next one. What are the key skills or things that you would be looking for as the people working with hiring managers to review profiles and make hiring decisions for customer service and sales? What would you like the job applicants in attendance here to hear about? Let me say that again. What are the key skills or things you'd be looking for as the people working with hiring managers to review profiles and make decisions for customer service and sales? What would you like the job applicants here today to know about? Olamide and Biola have already given us some great advice. I'd like to pass the mic to Stephen next. Stephen, let's hear from you, sir.
All right, thanks, Genevieve. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll just add to what Biola and Olamide were just talking about. When it comes to customer service, I'll talk about two things that are very important when we're hiring people. One is your communication skills, and the other is your problem-solving skills. And I'll break your communication skills into two ways. I'll look at one, your emotional intelligence. This has to look at how well you're able to perceive a customer's emotion, how you're able to view the person from your own perspective, how you're able to control those emotions, and how well you are able to actually act on those emotions, because it is very important. Why is it important in customer service? You might meet a customer who is not even interested in talking to someone. So at the first time, you are supposed to be able to measure the emotional or using your emotional intelligence, you should be able to know that, oh, I think my sales pitch should not start at this time, but I should be able to start a conversation that will lead me to a sales pitch. So in looking at customer service, this is something that is very much important, because you need to be able to control the emotions of customers. You need to evaluate those customers' emotions. It also goes for even prospective customers. And another thing when it comes to communication skills is you being a very good listener. Every customer service person should be a very good listener. Why is this very much important? If you are a good listener, you can always understand even the unsaid things. How do you get those? It is good to ask questions. Some customers may bring in a complaint that they don't even know that it's not a complaint, but because you've listened well, you'll be able to help them in solving those problems. But if you are a good listener, as I earlier said, you are able to ask them certain questions that can actually give you answers to the problems or the complaints they've already brought. So key skills that we look for, especially when it comes to communication skills, is one, your emotional intelligence should be very much good. If a customer calls in, let's say you're at the call center, if a customer calls in, from the first call, you should be able from the first interaction, you should be able to know that this customer is happy or this customer is unhappy with us. And that will help you guide the conversation on how you can get this customer on a happy ending, or how you can get solutions to those. And another thing that I think we should be very much mindful of when searching customer service roles is your problem solving skills. Most times we get people coming, okay, I just want to be a customer care, but that's not just what you want to do. You will want to get people who are actually able to solve problems of customers. And you solving problems of customers means you are able to understand the first that I just spoke about, emotional intelligence, using your emotional intelligence to understand the customer, and also asking questions. And when you solve these problems, it is two-way. You are either helping the customer to grow from one level to another, because that is what we call empowering of the customer, because you're helping them evolve from one point to the other. Somebody might call in, let's say for the renewable energy, as Biola was saying, might call in for his payment method. Okay, you're helping that customer to actually make those payments or know how to make payments, has helped the customer not to call again to do that. And what happens? The next time they want to do that, or somebody close to them wants to do that, they will just help them to do it. So that's what we call empowerment. So one of the things you can do is helping the customer solve those problems. One, you should be very much mindful of what you're doing. You should know what you're actually doing. Be very much, you take the customer as someone that you want to evolve with. It's not just about you being a customer care person and they say, okay, yeah, I just want to do this. No. If you actually understand, or if you actually master the art of listening, this is the time you have to ask questions that can actually lead you to the answers for this customer. This is the time you actually understand the customer. And it also comes with what we call empathy. Because when you really love what you're doing, you put yourself in the shoe of the customer. No matter the issue, no matter the situation, you are able to lead the customer through the way, because you're like thinking like the customer, okay, imagine someone being in his house without lights and this is dearly needed. And you can imagine yourself on, okay, if I do not have this person, what will happen to them overnight? So this is something, so it also brings in what Olamide was just talking about, or Biola was talking about, passion for what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, you will always be happy to help people. And one of the things I want people to also know about customer services, it is not just a role, it is an attitude. Okay, you need to be someone who is willing to serve people. You need to be someone who is willing to help people. You need to be somebody who is empathetic. You think like the others. You need to be someone who is proactive. It is not just one way of helping someone or you just solving problems. You thinking of along the way, or you really walking them along the way so that you actually guide them on next time such things happen, what should be done. That is what we are looking for. So key two things that we look for in hiring customer service people is one, your communication skills. As I earlier said, you should be very good with your communication skills. Be a very good listener. Be somebody that emotionally understands the people, because when somebody comes or when somebody contacts you, or even as a salesperson, the first thing that happens is you will have to check the mindset of the person. And these are things that we look for in customer service. Yeah.
Stephen, thank you so much for that insight. Audience, I hope you guys are being good listeners and hearing some common trends and important points that are coming up across our panelists here. Good listening skills, empathy, emotional intelligence, problem solving, core basics that we've got to tap into. Olamide, over to you. Would you have something to add to what Stephen's just said?
Yes. So just to add, so for us, one thing that is also key, so Stephen has been able to give like a broader expectation, right, for customer service. But another thing that is also very key for us in Greenlight Finance is because most of our customers are off-grid, they speak local languages. So in as much as everyone can speak English, we would also want, customer service representatives that can speak at least one of the local languages. So in Nigeria, we have 3 local languages. We have Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So we're looking at having customer service executives that can speak at least one of these local languages because it's easier to communicate, to explain to these customers because their English is not very fluent. So aside from everything that Stephen has rightly mentioned, hone your local language skill. Now, if you're able to speak one local language, fantastic. If you're able to speak 2, that means you're a hot cake, basically. If you can speak 3, then you're, we want you on the team, basically, because that way you can switch. You're not just limited to an area, a particular coverage. You can then switch between the languages and speak to customers. What that also means is that as a manager, and you understand these 3 local languages, you can also guide the other customer service agents in getting better at these languages. So also learning a language. Now, for us as well, because we're expanding to West Africa, and we have Francophone countries that we're also expanding to. So if you can speak French, that also makes you stand out, because what that means is that when we're expanding to those areas, even if the base might be in Nigeria, you can help, push the market there as well. So aside from everything that Stephen has said, the language is also very key in the update sector. Then for sales, if you're looking to the key skills that you need for sales, right? Another thing that is very key again, because it is off-grid and they are in hinterlands of states and in areas, you need to know the land, basically, right? So let's say you want to apply for a sales role in a particular state or in a particular province. You should know that place. You should know the local government. You should know the markets. You should know that land in and out, right? So if you're looking to apply for a particular role, do your research. Know the local government areas. Know particular markets. Know XYZ. So for sales, you also need to know, you have to have like territorial experience or understanding of that place that you want to be a salesperson in. Then other soft skills, you should be persuasive, you should be able to solve problems, you should be able to adapt. Now, because the solar energy is evolving, right? And a lot of things are changing, technologies are changing, products come in every now and then. You should be able to adapt to changes. And how do we know that? Just like Viola said, you're going to be asked situational questions. So think in your head, how can I sell myself as someone that is adaptive? Have I ever been in a situation where I've had to change? How was I able to do that perfectly? Right? So for sales, territorial experience, very key. For customer service, you should be able to speak languages. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much for that, Olumide. I'd like to switch gears a little bit. One of the questions that came up the last session we had in Q&A for customer service and sales, which we hadn't had enough time to get to, that I'd like to dig a little bit deeper on today. And I'm also seeing that one of the questions in our Q&A is linked to this. What job opportunities are concretely available within the customer service and sales spaces in off-grid sector? Stephen, I'd love if you could go first on customer service, and then Biola, could you step in for sales? Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks so much, Genevieve, once more. Yes, I know people are who've been used to the traditional customer service as being just getting calls over the phone or supporting people over the phone. But what the off-grid industry has actually done is taking customer service to the last mile. So there are various jobs in customer service. There are various roles in customer service, and I'll break these into two based on what we do right now. So there's what we call at the call center side of things, where is actually on the phone support that you have. So in this area, what we do is there are inbound agents. We hire inbound agents who will receive calls from customers, inquiries, and all of this. And there's an outbound side of it as well. And we have different sections of the outbound. So what the outbound does is the outbound actually make calls to customers. Okay. So there is one that is responsible for working with the sales guys on onboarding customers. So what you do is once you onboard a new customer, we have a whole team that will actually reach out to those customers to actually check their interaction with the product or know how best they see the product and get some feedback on them after using the product. There's what we call a payment reminder team. These are the people that actually reach out to customers, defaulters, for instance, because what we do is we're selling this product on pay-as-you-go basis. So what we do is customers pay within time. So once you go default, you are reminded of your payments. And this is also a time to actually do some health check to know what the status of your product is. There might be some customers who have problems with the product, but have not said anything about that. So during this time, we're able to check whether your product is okay. Then we want to know why you're unable to pay. It could be some other reasons. It will not just be somebody being defaulting on making payment, but there are some other reasons, financial reasons, health issues can also be. And there's also another team that we call the telemarketing. What they do is reach out to customers that have already purchased products and actually try to just create the relationship, because we already started something with this customer. If you finish making payments for your product, you could be in need of another product from us, so we can actually offer another product to you and things like that. And also we have what we call the after sales side of things. So this team works more, it takes the customer service at the field level. So there's a team that is responsible for collecting a collection of the faulty products from customers and for delivery of those repaired products for the customers. And we have various teams at various levels where we call the maintenance centers, where people are there to actually help customers who've had problems with their products and get them fixed. So from the entry level onto the supervisory level, we have various roles at in customer service that can be that people can enroll in. Now let's talk about the call center. Even though we have agents at the call center, we will need supervisors for those agents. Because as the team grows, you need more people in the team. We need data analysts at the call center. We need workforce analysts at this call center, who are people that are specialized in scheduling and rostering of people. And we will also need team leaders who are actually specialized in helping these agents, whether inbound or outbound, in getting their goals. And when it comes to the field, we also have field operations people who are the ones that supervise the other guys. So there are lots of roles in the customer service sector. And what the off-grid sector has actually done is taking the customer service to the people instead of just depending on like the call center thing that the customer service is known for. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Stephen. I really appreciate the breakdown on the different kinds of customer service roles. Technopop, I saw your question in the chat. I hope that spoke to it a little bit, and happy to dig into types of customers when we move into the Q&A session later. Over to you, Biola, on what are the concrete jobs and opportunities available in sales in the off-grid space? Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. And Stephen, that was great. Thanks for those insights. So from my experience, these roles are all focused on generating income for the growth of the organization, as this should be, right? So in Haven Hill, we have the BD finance role and also the BD commercial role. Now, in the business development role focused on finance, the team actually supports in fundraising activities, developing information, memorandum, proposals, business plans, and related materials about projects for funders, partners, and whatnot. Now, in the business development role focused on commercial activities, the focus is on activities that stimulate the demand for electricity in these off-grid communities. So you're ensuring that the users are constantly paying for electricity, like Stephen mentioned, and also enjoying the benefits of the presence of reliable power supply. Now, because of the steady growth of the off-grid sector, there are a lot more opportunities that we have not even begun to think about yet, and more are going to come up. Now, this sector is going to look beyond just the technical aspect, right? And it will bring opportunities for human to business interaction, which is also your sales, right? And then there'll be more of it. So you'll be looking at sales engineers, you'll be seeing sales analysts, a lot more interesting things are ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Biola. And to give a little extra input from my side and answering anonymous attendees' question, are there sales jobs out there? Absolutely. Guys, tell us what country you're in, what companies you want to work for, because there are sales opportunities everywhere. I will speak to it in a little bit. We've got specific platforms that help for pipelines for recruitment into off-grid companies. Customer service and sales for the Off-Grid Talents Initiative, the project that Shortlist runs with company partners to help place entry-level talent. Customer service and sales are our biggest pipelines. Those sales is some of the largest roles that we're feeding into across 9 or 10 countries. So how do you find them? Come onto our platforms, check out the programs that are out there, do online research, see the companies that you're interested in, check out their recruitment pages, because the answer is yes. On that note, I'd like to pass the mic to Joseph, because I can talk to you all day about the OGTI program, but it's way more interesting to hear from somebody who's actually been through it. Joseph recently joined Easy Solar via the OGTI program. Joseph, I'd love if you could turn on your camera, turn on your mic, say hello to everybody, and let us know what was the experience like for you, and what advice or suggestions would you have to job seekers out there? Thanks.
All right, thank you, everybody. I'm having a little bit of issue with my internet, so I'm trying a lot. So even if you can hear me, you can please try to understand. Now, first of all, I want to say the off-grid sector, and come across it through LinkedIn. So through LinkedIn, I was searching for a job, and then I met Shortlist. On Shortlist, I was assessed. I went through the assessment. After the assessment, and every other thing was successful, and then it took a little bit of time. So I was contacted later on, giving me a rundown of the particular job I'm seeking, on how far am I, and then whatever. So that was how I know Shortlist. And through Shortlist again, I also come across, Shortlist introduced me to the OGTI team. Through the OGTI, and then I met this platform on this program, the webinar. So, but there are certain things about the OGTI and Shortlist. Now, as an applicant, after applying, Shortlist always keep an update, constant update on every event, on everything, on every step you take on your recruitment process. On every step you take, they will always get in touch with you and then make you feel comfortable, especially when you are competent and then you are qualified for the job. So that was a wide experience to me, and I really appreciate the way Shortlist and OGTI are handling it, really. So that was my short experience with Shortlist. Thank you.
Joseph, I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, guys, I promise we didn't pay him to toot the Shortlist horn. I promise. No, thank you so much for that perspective. And we're so excited for your start with Easy Solar. How about tips to the job applicants out there? Is there any kind of key takeaways from your experience or lessons learned you'd want to share?
What I would say to every other applicant, now on every step you take seeking a job, you have to take that step very important, because there are other people out there who are qualified just like you, but who are taking, maybe how they climb the step, the more, so that's the way they take the thing serious. But for me, I always take things from the very first step with all seriousness until the end. I think that will be the tip for every other applicant that wants to make it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. We've got a lot of questions coming in, and I want to make sure we've got time to hit as many as we can. So I think I'd like to wrap up the discussion phase with one last question for our panelists. How can someone with no experience make the transition into sales or customer service roles? And added to that, how can someone transition specifically into the social impact space if they're coming from somewhere else, like banking or FCMG? Olamide, would you be able to take the first question on how to transition into this space if you don't have experience? And Biola, would you be able to take the second part of that? Thanks.
Okay, so you want to transition to sales and customer service without prior experience. So what are you bringing to the table? That's the golden question. What else do you have that you're bringing to the table that is good? So you need to do that self-assessment. There is no one can do that for you. You've applied for the role. You know very well that you don't have the experience, right? But what do you have, right, that can help you get that job role over someone else that has experience in the role? So it's for you to sit down and think about it. Do I talk well? Am I able to communicate well? Do I have a nice smile? If that's even the only thing that you have, right? Do I talk well? Am I eloquent? Can I convince people to buy things from me? What are those things that you have that basically helps you to be a good to have? That's all you need to sell to the panelists. Again, when you don't have the experience and the job role is a customer service role or a sales role, what the employer is looking out for is then basically you. It's not your experience, it's probably not your educational background. What they're looking out is you. For the fact that you've been invited to the interview, that means they want to find out more about you. They will give you the experience, they will give you all the knowledge that you would need, but they want to know, can that knowledge stay? Are you trainable? Right? Are you receptive to feedback? If we decide to train you or have a crash course for you so you can enter into this role for sales or customer service better, do you have that ability to assimilate? So basically, the answer is you need to sit down and evaluate yourself and say, what am I bringing to Greenlight Planet, or what am I bringing to any company aside from experience and my educational background? The other thing that can help, just like I said earlier, is the passion. You need to find out what that company does. Just like Biola said, how can you be going for an interview? You don't even know. You don't even know what the company does. There is no way you're going to get the job, right? You need to find out what the company does, right? You need to be able to explain and Biola is nodding because I know we get this a lot. And then people just come and first of all, they would say the name of the company wrongly. So you're like, okay. And then they come and you hear things like Green Lantern. And I'm like, no, we are not Green Lantern. We are Greenlight Planet, right? You need to know the company. It's easy. And you just need to take that time to do a lot of research. I will give you a personal example. When I was transitioning into Greenlight Planet, and I looked at it and I said, I've never done anything in, energy. And this is going to be a new industry for me. How am I going to sell my experience in FMCG and in banking and in telco into clean energy? So I did my research on the kind of structure they had in Greenlight Planet in terms of staff. I'm going to be managing staff. So what kind of staff do they have? What are the cadres? So when I came to the interview and I was talking about cadres, they were like, okay, how did you find out this information? I was talking, oh, you have this cadre, you have that cadre, you have this, you have this product. Give them facts. You need to position yourself like you are already in the company. Speak like you're already in the company. And those are the things that wow panelists. So you would even find people that have experience and they just come very glad to the interviews. And you find someone that is very smart, very energetic, knows a lot about the company that the person ideally shouldn't know. But the person has done a lot of research, right? And the person comes to that interview with so much knowledge about what we do. And it just makes you happy. And you just like the person. And you see, if this person comes into customer service, she speaks well, she has the basic requirements, she would go, right? She would survive. And then you bring that, oh, he would survive and you bring that person in. So you need to know about the company, know about their products. Talk about the products like you've seen them before, even if you've never seen them. Check out their social media page. Check out LinkedIn. Don't just check out LinkedIn of the company. Check out LinkedIn of the people that work in the company because they will have more, do a lot of research like you're writing an exam. And then when you come to that interview, just sell yourself and that knowledge that you have without prior experience. I've had so many situations whereby, I'm interviewing someone for the role and the person doesn't have some things that are very needed, my must-have. But I just want to put the person somewhere because that's how good that person is. That's how much I feel the person fits into the culture of the organization. And I'm thinking, can you do audit? Can you do this? Can you? Because that person is just an all-round, welcoming, well-rounded person. So when you don't have experience, you don't have educational background, you don't have work experience, nothing. All we want to see is you and what you know about the company. That's it.
That's super helpful advice, Olamide. Thank you so much. Passing the baton to Ms. Biola. Biola, in a minute or less, could you summarize kind of the key points to focus on if you want to transition into the social impact space from another sector? But if I'm sorry to squeeze you, if we could keep it to about a minute, because I'd love to get to some of these juicy questions. Thank you.
Okay, so I have said a lot of things, but I'll just, for summary purposes, what I'll say is this. If you really want to impact lives and change the common Nigerian and African narrative, then you must strengthen your social impact muscles by shifting your gaze from the glossy suit and tie mirage to getting your hands dirty. Simple. The off-grid sector gives you the opportunity to be everything you want to be, right? It's an all-rounder and is a very robust field. So you're looking at how access to electricity has impact on education, health, employment, tech. You see how engineering comes in. You see how admin comes in, data analysis. So it's just you are the one that's going to tell us, okay, how do I fit in, right? It's not really about, oh, maybe I have a psychology background. What's psychology doing in off-grid energy sector? I have a tech background. Ordinarily, you think, what are they coming to do there? But it's you that has to find how do I fit in. So that will be my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Let us open up the hot seat to the panelists with the Q&A that has come in. We've got a lot and we've got about 11 minutes left. So I'm going to try to hit as many as I can, but we might not get to everybody and I apologize ahead of time. First question that came up, to have or to be an effective customer representative, can it be thought or it's inbuilt then polish? I'm not sure I catch the sense of that question. Which of our panelists has an idea and wants to give it a go?
I think all the person is just trying to find. Okay.
Yeah, generally, yeah. I know the person is trying to say, can I be trained to become a good customer service person? Or do I need to have the skills before getting the job? I'll answer it in one sentence. As I said earlier on, customer service is an attitude. It starts within yourself. Okay, there are certain communications that you do with people that okay, this is what is right. It is the same that you take to the job. Example, you might not have an issue at home and you come to the job and bring the same problem or some arguments you've had before. And when you come to work, it is the same thing. That's not what customer service looks for. So as he asked, the question is, will it be polished? It is an inbuilt thing, and with training, it can be polished. And when you're well polished, what happens is you find yourself flying, because what happens in customer services, most people just look at customer service as an entry level and that's the end of it. No. In our organization, we actually look at customer service as a sort of breeding ground for other departments. So we have people coming to the customer service and moving to corporate sales. We've had people coming to customer service, moving to IT and all of these. And so what you do is you are well trained in customer service. And what it helps you do is once you come to customer service, you know all about the products, you know about the people you're serving. If you go to IT, if you go to corporate sales, you know how to communicate to them because you understand the customer base of the organization. So that is something that you have to, it is developed, but once you develop it, it is an innate thing, but it has to be polished with proper training once you get yourself the role. Yeah, I don't know if I answered the question well, but that's my take on it, yeah.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Follow up for you, Stephen. So you had given us a great breakdown of the types of roles that we can find in customer service. A follow-up question to that was if you could differentiate a bit between the types of customers that you have in off-grid sector and the purpose of establishing customer care. That's a question from Technopop. Thanks.
So yeah, so what people have been used to is getting products and not having people to look after them. I'll break it simple. You buying a product or say a lantern from a shop and going home, something happens to that lantern and there is no one to talk to. So what customer service does in the off-grid sector is actually bringing service to the people. If you purchase a product, and one of the things that is very much good about our products or the things that we sell is there is warranty for products, and there's what you call after sales. So we give you the warranty and we want to make sure that you're looked after. And another thing about customer relationship is not just selling the product and letting the customer go. You might want to build that relationship so that the customer benefits from some other products that are coming up. So one reason for establishing a customer service is to make sure that we're able to look after our customers and build that relationship with the customer so that it doesn't just end with the sales and receive thing, but it also becomes a relationship where we get customer loyalty, we get customers coming back to us, asking us for solutions. That is one reason why we set up the customer service. And the types of customers, we have different types of customers. Customers can be broken down into sectors, but in our industry, there's what you call the cash sales. These are customers that just come pay upfront and get the products and leave. And there are those we call on a credit basis. These are customers that deposit something for the product and keep paying on time basis. So these are two types of customers. And you can imagine somebody who is paying on a timely basis, having problems with the product, and you having to help them solve the problem so that they continue making payments. So in our industry and what we are doing right now, we have two types of customers, those that purchase on cash basis and those that actually purchase on credit basis. And we are there to serve all of them. So once you have our products, you need help from any of our technicians, or if you want to contact someone, there is a hotline that you can actually contact to get your help. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Next question I'd like to give to Olamide, please, from Abiodun Makinde. Customer service is the face and voice of an organization or company. However, it's been downplayed as of recent. Why? Over to you.
Okay, so it's been downplayed. Are we sure about that? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Would I say it's been downplayed? But why do you feel it's been downplayed? Is it downplayed? I can see pay here or played. It's been downplayed.
Not sure which. Maybe take that as you'd like and take that however you'd like to answer, and we'll keep moving.
Okay. So again, these things are relative, right? But for us, customer service is very key, right? When it comes to recruitment, it's the highest, it's like the top of my list, because I have to recruit more and more customer service, the more customers that we have, right? So for us, it's not been downplayed. I'm not sure what exactly this question means, but it's not been downplayed. If you want to go into customer service as a career, I don't think it's been downplayed. In fact, if you ask me, it has a very vast there are a lot of people in customer service, right? But don't think about it that, oh, we have a lot of people in customer service. How am I going to create a niche for myself? Just be you, and you would have your own special attributes that you bring to that role. So if you also mean it's being downpaid, right? With all the roles really, during the pandemic, a lot of companies had to cut down pay, had to, cut down costs basically. So maybe that's what you also mean by downpaid. But again, with every role, there are cadres, right? You have customer service executives, entry level, then you have team leads, you have managers, so for every role, there's a downpaid level that people feel like, oh, it's downpaid, right? But as you go up the ladder, the more you go up, the more you earn. Okay, so don't look at if it's being downplayed or if it's being downpaid. If it's something you want to do your research and go into it.
Thanks, Olamide. Next question for Biola, please. This is a two-parter. What does a sales technician really do in the off-grid solar power sector? And follow-up question, are sales jobs always on commission and why?
Okay, so sales technician. What is sales technician does? So let me use my organization as an example. So the sales technician, well, we don't call it sales technician. I don't know where you got that from, but that's not what we call it. We call them sales rep. So one of the things that they do is that they go out to try to recruit customers. And by recruitment, I'm talking about, they go to, it depends on who the target is for that particular team that's going out. So we have people who are going out to the big organizations. We have people who are going to home owners. We're looking at people who go to schools, hotels, and all of that. So their responsibility is to go out, tell people about Haven Hill, right? And then try to get them to buy into what we have to offer. And then when they do that, they begin to look, okay, so you have a hotel. And then this, of course, you're going to go there with your statistics, right? You won't just go there and start thinking, hey, actually, it's like you buy a hotel. What can I offer? You've already done your assignment. So what the salesperson now does is to go and layer on the information they have gotten about the organization they are trying to approach, and they begin to sell us. So you engage them in conversations, and then from there you are hearing, we've been having an electricity issue. Then you think about it, okay, maybe you can do that, and then all of that. Now, oh gosh, I think I forgot the second question. What's the second question again?
Second question is, are sales roles always commission-based and why?
Okay, so I think it depends on the organization. So our own organization, we have two types of salespeople. We have those who, in fact, everybody in our organization, we are all salespeople. Maybe I should put it that way. In Haven, everybody's a salesperson. So if I come and I talk to Olamide and I, really talk to her, and she decides that she wants to buy solar from me, that I brought Olamide in, my organization is going to pay me commission for that. So it depends on each organization. Like I've told you, my own organization, whether you are a salesperson or not, part of our own perks, and why I think organizations give bonuses, and cuts is whatever it is that you want to call it, is that it's just as a way to encourage team members to own the organization. See, when you start thinking like an employer and not like an employee, you will make more impact, you will grow. And then when you have the opportunity to enter leadership positions, or you have the opportunity to set up your own business, it won't be hard because you've been practicing. So if I decide to step out today to start an organization, I will not just go and be learning how to sell XYZ to Olamide because I've already practiced while I was in Haven Hill. And these are all transferable skills. I hope that answered your question. Thanks.
Thank you very much for that, Biola. Olamide, linking back to the question earlier on what does it take if you don't have much experience to get into the space? We've got a question from Esther. Oh, here it is. Is there a certification that you can take to boost job opportunities in customer service?
Well, so there are some, how do I, they call them is it interview skills? So there are, I know Jobberman for one has one that they do that is even free, that you can take these courses to just make you interview ready, right? These things that we are saying here for free, sometimes you have to pay for them, right? For people to tell you that, oh, you need to research the company, you need to be able to talk this way, you need to, all those things, all those kind of trainings you can also do those kind of trainings to get you ready for a role if you don't have the experience. And a lot of them are free, honestly. You can check Udemy, you can check Coursera. Just
Even
Google
Shortlist has on Shortlist platform. Yeah.
Yes.
You have. Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Sales, I'm selling.
Yes, that gets you ready basically for these interviews. These are courses that are like maybe 6 hours, 10 hours, but again, you need to sit down and do those courses. So yes, those certifications can get you ready. And for me, when I'm also doing recruitment, I also check CVs to see if you have those kinds of training as well. It shows that you're trainable. It shows that you know what you need to grow, right? When I see you doing courses on, even if you don't have any experience in customer service or in sales, there are free courses. Udemy, Coursera, Shortlist, free. Just go and do 1 4-hour course, do a 6-hour course. And the thing is, don't do those courses just because I just want to add it to my CV. There's always something that you would learn. And then when you learn those things and you come to the interview, you say those things, you use those terminologies, those customer service jargons, those sales jargons. And then we're wondering, you don't have the experience, but how come you know about talk rates? How come you know about this? How come you know about that? And then you're able to tell us that even though you don't have the job experience, you have the theoretical experience, which we can then build on and bring you on board.
Thank you so much. Guys, I realize that we are 2 minutes over time. I'm so sorry. We've got so many great questions from the participants. Eva, are you there? Can you hear me? Is there a way that we can capture the questions in the Q&A before we sign off, and we can maybe have a think through and circle back and give feedback when we send out the recordings to the participants? Eva, Brenda, who's on our shortlist professionals line here?
Hi, Jen. It's me, Brenda. Yeah, I'll definitely make a note of all of them.
Okay, amazing. Audience members, I'm so sorry that we couldn't get to everybody's questions. They're all great. So yes, we will capture those, and to the extent possible, we'll send out a recording to everybody who joined us today and see if we can hit on some of those in a summary when it goes through. Firstly, I'd like to say a huge thank you to our panelists for joining us today. The great insight, the practical suggestions, just fantastic. I wish that I could have had access to your perspective when I was first starting out in the job hunt and looking at the space, because that kind of key insight into the sector and what's needed and how to get there is just invaluable. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your wisdom with us today. Joseph, thank you for making the appearance. Wishing you best of luck as it moves forward with Easy Solar. And I'm just going to wrap with one quick point. I'm going to drop it into the chat for everybody. Please do take note. What is OGTI? We mentioned it a few times over the course of the program. This is a specific recruitment drive that we are doing to help place early career professionals into great jobs with great companies like the folks you see here on the panel today. Haven Hill, Easy Solar, Greenlight Planet. And yes, it's a whole funnel set up to take applications and get people placed into great jobs. So that's the website. Take a note. Please do check us out. We're regularly posting new opportunities, and we also circulate them on LinkedIn as well. So if you don't have a profile, please get one set up and keep an eye out, because there's opportunities. I saw a question on that. There's opportunities opening up in Sierra Leone, new locations in Nigeria, across East Africa, across West Africa. It's booming. So do check it out. Guys, I'm sorry, we're 5 minutes over. Whew. Thank you so much for your time. Audience members, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate you joining. Hope you learned something today. Yeah, take care, good luck. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Jen. I think you're on mute.
Yes, I think there's still are there still participants? There are.
Yeah,
There's 60.
yeah. You can see some
Okay.
of them. I'm just trying to figure out how to grab these questions.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna-
There's a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
Every time, man, we try to put more time in for the Q&A and just.
Okay.
Should we just take screenshots of these, or what's the right way to do this?
I have no clue. I'm just checking on the Zoom manual if there's a way for me to access this after, because I don't want to exit before we have them.
I'm gonna hop off to circle back by email to thank the panelists.
No worries. I'll let you know about the questions.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brenda, thank you so much for your support getting this together. I think the discussion went great, huh? The panelists were fantastic.
It was amazing. I loved it. It was amazing. I wish we had more time. They were really good.
I see there's still a lot of panelists on, so if you guys are hearing us chatting, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I'm gonna sign off. Thanks, Brenda.
Okay. Sure thing. Bye.
Bye.